Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Sexy curves, crazy creases, faceting, steel, diamond-like carbon, a Zenith Genta design with Bulgari money behind it, fully fleshed out, developed, and powered by Zenith El Primero. I'm not normally a fan of combinations in the watch industry, but this particular group product scintillates. 41 millimeters on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the Bulgari Octo Chronograph is an easy watch to wear. It's not excessively thick, nor is it terribly thin, but with a multiply stepped case flank and a conical bezel, the 13.4 millimeter thick watch easily slides underneath a dress cuff. Measuring it from lug to lug, it's actually a delightful 47.9 millimeters from lug to lug, and thus easy to wear, with an elaborate integrated strap that nevertheless does fit in a standard 30 millimeter conventional slot. 30 millimeters is anything but a standard size, but the slot itself takes a spring bar, and thus any 30 millimeter custom strap will fit this watch. The timepiece is flat, broad, and imposing on the wrist. It is stainless steel with a diamond-like carbon scratch-resistant coating, and then a black lacquer dial with rose gold applique. It is a stunning thing on the wrist. Now, I mentioned that it's also the product of a little bit of corporate inheritance. Bulgari, then an independent company, purchased the combined Le Sentier-based Zenith Genta Daniel Roth company in 2000, and that Siamese high horology workshop was combined with Bulgari money, and then later on, when Bulgari was purchased by LVMH's corporate movements, meaning you wind up with a Zenith Genta design that's been embellished and enriched by Bulgari, powered by a Zenith El Primero chronograph caliber, and that is the best of all possible worlds. The strap is highly integrated in black to match the watch. Since the timepiece is 100 meter water resistance, I'm happy to see a full rubber strap, making it easily swimmable. The integration is also handsome, and it's well suited to the character of the watch, which is stark, monolithic, imposing. And thanks to hollows on the underside of the strap on both sides, it allows the wrist to breathe on a hot day. You can see that the buckle, likewise, is black DLC stainless steel, and it matches perfectly. It makes for easy on-the-fly adjustments. The case is remarkably complex. Now, the Octo form was created by the Zenith Genta manufacturer and effectively inherited by Bulgari in 2000. So while they like to talk about Italian architecture and the Italian roots of the Bulgari brand, the truth is something a little bit different. I'm not saying it's not a great story, but it's not the whole truth. Now, the watch also contains a few nods to past work by Zenith Genta the man, not the brand. As you can see, there is a round bezel, but there's also an octagonal inner face to the bezel, as well as a octagonal plinth external to the bezel itself, and you can see the watch has a built-up structural appearance, almost like a pagoda, and the facets themselves are sharp. The curves and the creases, that is, the geometries and the rounded elements of the bezel, contrast handsomely, and then you can see there's also a contrast between polished and satin finished aspects of the case. The rose gold crown features an inlaid ceramic cabochon to resist scratches, and it is just a beguiling thing to rotate through the light, because it catches the light almost like a cut gem. Even when satin is used, it's an unconventional vertical satin rather than the longitudinal currently used by most brands that satinate their cases. The dial has lovely rose gold accents to contrast with the black lacquer base, and as you can see, a single Arabic numeral 12 is well chosen up at 12 o'clock. Folks often ask me, is it Bulgari or Bulgari? Well, they're trying to tie themselves to Latin times because Bulgaris was the original name, and that's a little bit too Greek for an Italianate jeweler. So it's pronounced Bulgari, and the logo itself is BVL. Of course, we have an El Primero style movement with the El Primero's quirks. You will appreciate the fact that when you pull the crown out one notch, it's a screw-down crown, that actually sets the watch. So pull it out one notch and you're setting the timepiece. Pull it out all the way in contrast to every other movement ever made, and now you activate the quick set. I'll also note that the attention to detail is superb. You can see that the constant seconds sub-register uses a darker red gold for the constant seconds hand rather than the lighter rose gold that's used for the chronograph registers. Skeletonized Dauphine-style hands for the hours and minutes. Turn it all over, and Well, Bulgari calls this the BVL 328. I call it the El Primero caliber 400. We'll call it whatever they want because the hardware is the goods. Automatic winding, bidirectional. It features a column wheel lateral clutch chronograph architecture. You can see the column wheel, which is blued, interacting with its levers and horns. You'll also appreciate the fact that despite being 36,000 vibrations per hour or 10 beats per second, it does have a 52-hour power reserve, which is exceptional. 31 joules, you have the quick set, you do not have hacking seconds. That's really the only refinement that the El Primero lacks. I particularly like the fact that you can easily see the lateral clutch moving into and out of contact with the driving wheel of the chronograph mechanism, the driving center wheel, and then you can actually recenter everything, watching the hammers fall on the heart cam at center. Although some automatic chronographs are ugly with little to see, the El Primero is delicious, showing you almost everything you'd see on a manual lateral clutch chronograph. You'll also note that there are handsome bolts in the reverse side. Even the reverse side of the case is geometrically involved, faceted and satin finished with contrasting red gold bolts. Handsomely styled, it doesn't really matter where the style came from. Bulgari, call it your own. Gerald Genta, I nod in your direction. Zenith, thank you for the movement. This is one hell of a sports watch.